Welcome along, ladies and gentlemen, to the Formula 4 Head Championship Season 17 here. We are at round 14, Monza, and as you can see, it is absolutely pissing out of the heavens. I'm joined on the desk today by three-time world champion, the guy who enacted the championship in his own name, Mr. Dave Forehead. How are we, Forehead?
Hello, Einrong. I'm feeling pretty good. It is nice to be back in familiar territory. Maybe not so much in a race seat, but nonetheless, I'm really looking forward to this.
Probably for the better, I would say, Forehead.
Well, yeah.
Actually, it's not
Yeah.
Eau Rouge, so it's actually okay. But considering you did this race last year and Belgium, it's probably better as well in that case. But Forehead, the guys don't know that we have the
Don't
weather
tell 'em.
set up today. It is fully wet. Well, mostly. It's intermediates, and then it's fully wet. But Forehead, let me remind everyone about the championship since it's been a few rounds, since a lot of you have indeed heard about it. We have 4 people really fighting for the championship. Lovely Cans, the Irish man himself, love child of me and me. Jakey, love child of me and Forehead from England. We have Crossy, love child of 2 sheep from Wales. And Panda, the love child of, I guess, his parents, really. That's really it. And you can see the championship standings on your screen there now. Cans leading the championship, 169 points. Jake, 164. Crossy is another 22 back on 142. Panda one behind him on 141. Forehead, you can only see the results on screen. You don't know what these guys have been doing for the most part. Who do you fancy today for pole?
I mean, it is definitely hard for me to judge coming in halfway through the season and all that. I have to say, Jake has always been a quick driver, and around Monza, he's been pretty strong, and I know Kant has his too. My eyes will be on Crossy, definitely. I don't think I've ever seen him properly race. I've heard he's a bit inconsistent, but that doesn't mean he's not good on a one lap basis. So, if I had to put it down to one person, I'm going to say Jake with Crossy second. No, Crossy first, Jake second, Kans third. That's my quality prediction.
Oh, nothing for Panda, so the other championship protagonist. He's going to be nowhere, is he?
Well, I mean, again, so hard to say. When I last raced with him, he was not all that quick, but I'm sure he's built up his speed since then. So, very hard for me to say. But from the people that I know and have heard of, those are still going to be my 3. Because I haven't heard too much about Panda, I have to say. Maybe he's a bit underrated. Maybe I'm going to be eating my words by the end.
Panda has been, of course, one of the main championship protagonists for those who haven't been watching pretty much all season long, having won the season opener in Australia, which is basically a Panda track at this stage. Just for you, Forehead, to know, I guess, Crossy, probably seen as the quickest driver. That's why we had to nerf him slightly and put him in a Toro Rosso, because he's just too fucking quick. Jake is in the Force India, because he's a little bit quicker than Cans and Panda, and so on. Of course, we have the other guys as well. Rez is quali banned, of course, today after his outrageous attempt at an overtake in Spa. Ghost, of course, is quali banned as well for being absolutely, doing ghost things in Spa as well. So both of them are quali banned. It's Blah and Otis. Otis has had a fantastic season so far. He's already scored over 100 points, more than any season to date so far. He is, of course, your love child, Forehead, Otis.
Yeah, a man is close to my heart and has earned my respect for arguably all the wrong reasons. But definitely someone to be admired, because nothing will stop that man.
Oh my god, I'm on board with him now.
When as we watch him, he had a bit of an interesting moment there. Must be on a hot lap, but I mean, I feel like he is almost. He's not exactly the Kimi Räikkönen of our group, but he's not hugely emotional, and things will always go wrong for him. As he does that again, oh my god, the wet weather conditions are really not playing to his style, but slots it in third for now, which isn't bad at all. So I wish him the best of luck. I really do like seeing his name up towards the top of the leaderboard.
Panda and Jake battling it out at the moment, 1 and 2. Just so you know, Ford Cans has been a bit of a wet weather specialist this season so far, but I think he's cocked it up because he doesn't realise it's going to rain a bit heavier later. Jake P1 at the moment from Panda P2, less than a tenth of a second separate them, and Blah has gone up into P3 in the Renault. This is really good from him. Just so you know, Forehead, he's moved over to wheel, so he is adjusting to it, and that's why he's in the Renault, not maybe in a, say, a weaker car, which you normally would, as he straight lines the chicane and goes straight through it there, and that's an interesting line indeed.
I have to remember that I'm the cameraman for this, so I'll try and stay on board with whoever I'm talking about. Rez!
He had to do that. He wants it. You see, he needs a setup since he's been quali banned. So what he's done is he went out, assigned himself a setup, and then he will have, I believe, yeah, he would have retired because of that. I'm not sure if Park Ferme is actually on. I think I turned that off. And anyway, following Jake on board here now as he's looking to set consecutive lap times because the rain is only going to get heavier, and he's in the slipstream of Sirotkin. This man, of course, I'm not sure what he's doing. Why is he in 6th gear? No one knows. Wait, he must be going for another lap forward.
Maybe a small glitch, but whoa, there's a lot going on there. There's a lot going on there, and Blah is in the wall to start with.
I didn't see Blah, but I was looking at Otis, and Otis is after smashing into the back of Sebastian Vettel there, and
Otis is straight into the pits. Blah, we're just on board with here. He's coming up to the final corner. He had a big spin. I wonder, did he just mess it up through Ascari? And he's gone very wide and very slow. So I think there's some serious wing damage on Blah anyways. But that's oh dear.
There is on board now with the resident sheepshagger Crossy as he is coming down the back straight into Parabolica here now. This man has been rapid this season. This doesn't look like the best lap time though from him, and I'm sure he's saving it all up for one major lap time. Quali position is kind of key in Monza, to be honest. It's a lot more difficult to overtake here than you would say, because slipstreaming is kind of... Oh my god! He's held it! He's held it! Oh, he's going to have to go around for another lap though. This is crucial. He's going to have to go around and do another lap because he would have gone into the pit lane wall otherwise had he tried to make that. So this is not going to be a pole position lap time considering the speed he's like lost down the main straight. So this is a disaster for him, I have to say.
Ouch. Well, I mean, fair play to him for keeping us cool and like actually holding it, but it looks like that track is turning into wet weather conditions all the more, and those inters are just not cutting it.
Yeah, Jake goes on a good lap forehead. Sorry to interrupt, but he's coming around the last corner here now. 125, 126, 127. He's going to better his time. He's just about going to do it. Is he going to do it? He has beaten it by a slight amount, and he goes quicker by 0.04 of a second and increases his lead over Panda now to 1/10 of a second.
Yeah, I mean, I don't want to call it too soon, but that could be it. I mean, we could be in for a very quiet rest of the qualifying. I know there's 10 minutes to go, but that's a lot of rain right now, so we'll have to see what they can make out of it.
We're going to follow lovely Cans on board, the championship leader at this moment in time, who had a difficult, say, early European season, part of the season when he was looking very strong. We got involved in some clumsy incidents, but he has been absolutely terrific in the middle part of the season. Slightly weak in the last few races as we're coming up now to the flyaways, but he's still in with a chance at this championship, of course, leading it and looking very, very good now on board with Cans here now into whatever the fuck this corner is called, not really sure, but sure, look, we'll figure it out as he goes into here forehead. Looking very smooth, isn't he? Oh, no.
Yeah, I mean, that corner's the tiniest bit sloppy, but you're right, overall he's looking pretty good right now, and yeah, I just wonder if he left it too late lap as he goes quite wide. Maybe not, he looks like he's still going for it, but I just wonder, has he left it too late in the session? Because we're seeing people struggle all the more right now, and it just seems to be on that borderline there, that grey area between inters and wets. Clearly people are still risking it on the inters, which is great to see, but Ascari's going to be difficult now to see how he gets through this.
There's no way that's Kansas middle sector time there, because if that's Kansas sector, one time they come up on screen, he's a second and a half quicker than everyone else. So let's see what's happening. Maybe he is, because Jake has just blitzed the fastest lap forward at 29.3, and he has absolutely smashed it to pieces. But Kansas is a wet weather specialist, I would say, and Kansas like middle sector was so quick. So let's see what he does here now. He's coming across the finish line. This could be provisional pole. It's not going to be, but it's good enough for P2 as he gets ahead of his teammate Panda.
Yeah, very impressive stuff from Cans, and all what we were saying about the track getting worse, that is looking like a couple of lies there, because that is a serious time for both Jake and Cans. Jake going, what, about 1.2 seconds quicker all of a sudden?
Yeah, 1.2, 1.1.
Serious improvement there.
Panda now looking for the slipstream off Jake maybe here as he comes out of Lesmo 2, or as I call it, Lesbo 2, but anyway, and Jake pulls across to one side. This is an important lap time. He'd want to get ahead of Cans. He's only scored 20 points in the last 4 races, having gone from basically first in the championship pretty much all season long now to going to fourth. And he's so out of shape through there forehead compared to everyone else, isn't he?
Yeah, it wasn't ideal from Panda, but we'll have to see what he can do in this last corner just to get every ounce out of the car. This last corner, I always find, just in all circuits, but especially in Monza, the last corner, it's such a mind game with yourself. How far do you push it and how quickly do you get in the throttle, especially in the wet, especially when you're going for the fastest time of the day. doesn't look like he's able to pull it off that time anyway.
No, he's got half a second slower, and that line through Ascari wouldn't have been a deal and the slightest. Crossy's only going on an outlap now at this stage. Of course, he's going to be struggling. And what the hell is going on with Panda here? Are you getting this looping?
Yeah. This is interesting. I'm gonna move to a new driver.
Yes, let's move to a new driver.
So I'm watching Cans go in the pits. Who is not in the pits?
Otis is on the
Blaz in the last corner.
Oh, yeah, Blaz in the last corner. Here we go. What? Is he on full lock for you? What's going on?
He's also going into the pits anyway.
Otis is shimmying.
Yeah. The who knows? Maybe he's on a very interesting outlap here. But surprised to see that was like to some extent anyway. Surprised to see the what the excuse me.
That's the quality line from Otis there. They do it so they can get across the lap quicker because it doesn't give you a grip penalty or anything. So I'm sure.
Was that is something actually that I haven't been keeping up with since I used to play this game. Is who is officially into the quality line gang? But I'm sure Otis would be up for consideration after moves like that.
Sliding line gang, I think from Otis maybe. That's about it. I wouldn't say quality line gang. But look at this quality line.
Oh well, hang on a second.
There goes the tyres. They're a bit dirty now, in a way, I would say.
Oh, that is disgusting.
Crossy's on a lap. Let's keep an eye on him.
Whoa,
oh no, he's into the pit lane.
Otis mixed up his exit from Ascari big time and nearly went straight into the barrier. That could have been it.
I think we're done here. I think we're done. No one's going quicker. Panda's going to give it one more go, I think. Well, I don't think anyone is going quicker now. It looks like it is a done deal here. Let's follow Panda though, just for this one lap, but it looks like everyone's done. Crossy nowhere with his lap time, 1:40.18. He does struggle a little bit in the wet though, I have to say, from what I've seen of Crossy. He's not as quick in the wet as he is in the dry. Jake's lap's a mega lap time, I have to say, isn't it?
Yeah, big lap time. And where did it come from? Cans got a really good lap down. Jake improved out of nowhere, and then no one else could copy them. I'm really confused by that somehow the best time to go out and track seems to be in the very middle of qualifying. Really unusual to see.
Just getting into the groove, of course, the first lap is never going to be the best one, and I've told these guys millions of times beforehand, get a banker in. Make sure you get a banker in. And Panda has had enough of it, and he's decided to send it into the wall. Jake's out in wets for some reason, so we're pretty much done here at this stage. We're just waiting now for these guys to finish up and retire. But who knows, forward, last time I casted, the boys took the piss and just decided to drive around for 5 minutes after. So we'll see what happens here. But looking like a foregone conclusion now. Jake on pole from Cans. I'm sure Crossy could probably improve his time actually, like maybe above the Toro Rossos. And he actually is coming out on Super Softs.
Is he?
Yes, Crossy has Super Softs fitted.
Okay, so he does he want to be back down at the bottom of the grid? Seems like an unusual thing to choose, but I don't think those supers are going to do any favours.
I'm on board with him now, and yeah, it's absolutely definitely Super Softs he's got on board here. Let's see how his braking is. Well, that's actually really impressive. He made the corner. Oh my!
Tidy so far.
Pretty neat and tidy, yeah. I mean, he's not full throttling it, I can tell you that.
No, absolutely not. He's really holding up his teammate too, which I'm sure will knock him down well in the garage. Oh, he's gotten a bit wide. Oh,
that's just the quality line through there. Gasly now is going to blitz him on the straight here, I'd say.
Not as much as you'd think.
No, he's in none ERS and Cross is in 5, so that's probably why.
Yep, that will do it.
Blah has joined
break.
back.
Break.
Oh my god. Oh, he's going to lose it through here. Oh no.
Oh, I have to say, if not, is he gonna? Oh, I thought he was gonna sideswipe his teammate. Oh, that's a bit snaky.
God.
I have to say, if nothing else, it's a very impressive show of skill right here.
Yeah, if nothing else, that's what it is. But I have to say, he might beat his lap time on Super Softs, but I can't see
Hold on, we're getting a bit of a Tokyo drift on here. Oh, I mean Gasly. Oh, is he? Oh my god!
And I wonder. Is that just a warning? Yes, it is. Just a warning.
That is one way to enter the pits.
Yes, that is one way to enter the pits. We're just waiting now for these really great drivers to finish their laps. Otis is actually on a lap. So Forehead, you can take a break now. Relax, do what you need to do there. If you need to message any young girls, and yeah, just do that, because I'm gonna watch Otis on board here as he does Otis things. Probably going into the wall here as he sets.
Is he about to start a lap?
I think he's just quicker, I'm not sure. Hold on. Let's check. Otis's lap times. That was not a lap by Otis. No. Okay. I'm not sure why he's getting into practice. Oh, because it's monsoon in the race, isn't it? Good idea, actually, to get into practice. You know what? That's what I would do.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see how it goes. But yeah, interesting grid for the race. If that is how it finishes up with four players first to fourth, that could be a very interesting turn one.
Jesus Christ, Otis, your line through there is absolutely fucking awful. I mean, like, you can see why he's like really good in like the early part of the corner because he carries so much speed in, and he just loses out in the exit because he tries to get on the powered in when he's like opposite locking. But yeah, interesting lines for all these corners from Otis. You can see why he struggles on traction because he just stamps on the throttle.
No, it's the karting line. It's the wet line. That's what you're supposed to go for.
What, the one in the wall, is it?
Yeah, obviously. That's the fastest way out of there. Let's face it, the winner is the person off the circuit quickest. Not about finishing first.
If that was the case, Crossy would have already won this championship. There'll be a yellow flag for some reason, and Jake is on. He's doing a practice start.
No, he's not.
He is.
Well, I tell you what, you have to
applaud it.
I suppose, yeah. It's creative practice.
Oh my God, Otis, stay off the curb. Jesus.
Otis coming up anyway to finish his lap.
Actually, do you know what? With a 133 flat, right? Crossy could jump Sorokin and Gasly, I think, with a lap time similar to that. He would if he set the lap time Otis just did. So Crossy could actually improve his lap. So Crossy isn't 17th yet, I would say, for it. I'd say there's a chance he could improve slightly if he gets in.
And he's on a lap now, I'm assuming.
No, he's on an out lap at the moment.
Okay.
So we'll have to see what he does when he comes across the finish line.
At the moment, that's right. At the moment, I'm watching Jake go across the gravel here. He's holding it together for now, at least. I wonder if he copped on to the same ideas Otis has, get some practice in.
You see, he's taking the mick right now, but he's actually like motivated to actually win a championship. And the thing is, he might want to stop taking the piss because he might actually end up carrying that into the race, which means he'll lose the championship. Cans won't be making those mistakes, let me tell you. Cans won here last year as well for it. Do you remember when you were here?
Yeah.
In the heavy rain, Cans was like in another league altogether.
Oh yeah, no, Jake is missed the brakes entirely.
And Crossy is lagging out while turning right.
And spectacularly, to be fair to Jake, spectacularly started facing the right way again. So I don't know if he got any warnings for that, but my oh my, that is one way to take a scary. Don't think it's too good on the tyres though.
No, probably not, I would say. But look, he's on pole by 4/10. So we probably shouldn't question him, should we?
No, that is true. He's.
I mean, it's not like we're a 12 and 3-time world champion respectively here. But, he's only a 1-time champion.
That wouldn't
the only other champion, but sure, look.
Wait.
What?
Jake's previous lap got invalidated?
Invalidated, yeah. That's what it looks like.
Did his lap get... Huh?
Oh, that is spicy. Oh, he's obviously been cutting the corner so much that they decided to invalidate his lap time.
Well,
I'm not sure if bug or feature in the game. Because his lap time just got invalidated. Oh my God.
Wow.
That's what he gets for taking the piss, I guess.
That is weird.
Am I right?
That is very strange. A very late call from the stewards, it has to be said. Either way, I'm on board with Crossy, just watching the end of his lap, because it looks like he's going for it.
I think he'll improve his time. Hold on. So normally they hit 118, so hold on, so it'll be like... Okay. So he'll be setting a 133, 134, I reckon. Maybe, we'll see. Oh, jeez, okay. A line like that. Actually, it might be quicker. For this might be good enough for P8. Oh,
wow.
9 on the wets. Look at that. On wet tires, he improves his lap time.
That is a very impressive lap time.
Yeah, what a lap time. And Jake has had pole stolen from him. His time is actually still in the purple for some reason.
Yeah.
So I'm not really sure what's happening here for it, but at the end of the day, I don't think Cans will be complaining. I think Jake is going to be absolutely raging. So yeah.
That's oof. That is harsh. It has to be said. That has got to be a bit of a kick to the teeth for Jakey, anyways. But
not much we can do about that. It does say though his time is actually a 130.4, so I don't think he is going to be in any mood for that. Forehead. I think he is going to be very, very pissed off. And in fact, knowing Jakey, forehead, I wouldn't want to be in the same room as him right now.
No, and I also would not want to be Cans starting alongside him, or Panda, because if either of them get off to a good start,
They
well,
won't.
I don't think...
Well, Panda won't anyway, don't worry. Crossy will be P3 by like the first corner, because he starts him at the game. Let me just check with Jake. What's the story? Jake, did you not check the patch notes?
What?
If you keep cutting corners, they can invalidate previous lap times. That's what happened to you.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh my god.
No.
Yeah.
Does
So
that
that's why we
I
were
didn't
like
know.
commenting. Is like Jake should probably stop doing this. But yeah. Good luck, boys.
Good start off
Right.
the line here, I think, to keep his distance from Jake.
We're back. Sorry for it. I went in to check Jake and tell him, yeah, you got demoted because you kept cutting corners. So that's kind of awkward, isn't it?
Ouch.
Yeah.
I'm sure he didn't take it too well.
No, he didn't take it too well at
I'm
all.
sure he didn't enjoy
The
being
old
pulled in by the
"Whoa!"
stewards.
came out. So yeah.
Are
Not
you
much we
telling
can-
me he didn't notice till you told him?
Oh, he knew. He noticed. All right. He will still get the pole position. We'll see. We'll see how it goes. But yeah, Kansas starting on pole. No one's mentioned this, but here we go. Forehead. 5 red lights. Look, but never stare.
Yeah.
And away we go. And oh, Jake's had a good start. I think maybe. Let's see. No, Kansas had a better one.
Pretty good start, but Cans is going to cut across. Jake straight into the slipstream. Who's going to hit the brakes the best?
Oh, Panda around the outside of Jake.
Oh, it doesn't quite happen. Keep it together, lads. Keep it together. Blah fighting with Raikkonen there.
And Crossy's been done by Otis around the outside. What a move by Otis. Crossy's hit Otis. Oh, he's almost got into the wall. Oh, so close. But yeah, coming into the first sector, counts from Jake, Panda, Blah, Raikkonen, Otis, Crossy, and Rez is down in 14th, of course, having served his quali ban. Kansas all over the place. Forehead, this is looking like a juicy race.
This is already going to be a serious race. Rez with a 3-second time penalty. That is not going to help him. Oh, Cans is all over the shop. Jake, going to go up the inside, is he?
What a move by Jake. He's pissed off from quali, and he's absolutely done him. And Panda now is going to be so quick down the straight on Cans here.
Yeah, Cans is in trouble. His teammate, of course, of all people, is going to be right up his...
Panda wants it
this is
though.
gonna
I
be
know
congested.
Panda. He's not ballsy enough to do it. He doesn't have that
Doesn't wanna
racing
go
instinct
for
for it.
Yeah, well, it's understandable. First lap in a Scary, you don't need to take risks. With Jake, however, everyone really finding his Scary difficult to get the exit right.
Cans now slipstreaming Jake as they go down the straight. And Cans thinks about sending it. Jake leaves him the space. And this is going to allow Panda and Blah in particular, to catch right back up a lot here.
Oh, well, hang on, Cans, I feel he'll get a very good exit on Jake here. We'll have to see how this plays out. Slipstream, of course, no DRS, but that won't matter.
Cans
That
now.
Haas is very good in a straight line.
This is amazing racing. The two boys side by side, but Cans has so much more straight line speed than Jake as he's in ERS mode 1 here with Jake. And he's going to try and go to the cut back. But Panda hits Jake up the backside.
Oh.
And Jake won't be too happy about that, but he's going to get away and he might just catch Cans anyway in ERS mode 5 here, forehead.
Yeah, we didn't catch it as it happened, but Crossy also overtaking Otis there pretty recently, so that is Crossy slowly climbing his way up from 9th to 6th. He probably is the biggest winner out of the start there.
Generally something that does happen with Crossy forehead, just so you know his starts are electric. And Cans again struggling out of that corner, and he makes a move into Lesbo 1, does Jake. He's going to have to leave Cans room here, and he does do that. And is Cans going to get a superior exit? No, he's not. He's going to get squeezed out here on the exit, surely. Cans is going to try and cut him, but Jake decides enough is enough. I am not leaving your room. This is for the championship, and cuts him off.
Yeah, but it wasn't a great exit by Cans or Jake there, and Panda once again is going to be the same spot as the last lap. Oh, they're not quite side by side, but they're all over each other.
Oh, it's so close. You don't want to be getting onto that curb, though. I can tell you that. You have to keep the direction change so minimal in the wet. But they're so close to each other now. Crossy's after doing Raikkonen, and Crossy is now the man on a mission here. They need to start speeding up here and get this move done. And Cans again goes to move with the Jake into Parabolica for it.
Yeah, except he looks even further alongside than last time. Looks like he has it. He's going to keep Jake wide. Jake trying to get a great exit.
Oh!
Very wide. That's so close, Cans.
Oh, he's almost hit the pit lane, but Panda now is going to be an absolute rocket here in a straight line.
Oh,
and he's surely going to do Jake, but Jake, Panda, I'm not sure what he's doing. He didn't go for it. And Blaz up the inside. We got a four-way battle for the lead.
lead out of all this. Could you believe it? Oh my god. Cans somehow holds on to leading Jake in second. What is this?
Oh, Panda should have made the move again. This is what we talked about before. He's lacking that killer instinct. This is what I talked about. He was leading the championship because of his consistency. He's lacking that killer instinct. Blah also didn't fancy it into turn 1 there. Cans, the latest of the late breakers, again showing why I think he'll be the champion this season. It'll be him or Jake in my opinion. And these two guys are the two fighting up front. But let's not count out Crossy, who's caught up to the back of these guys now.
Yeah, well, I mean, I have to say, the nerves must have been jangling. So very well done to all 4 of them for holding it together. Yeah, I think Panda got boxed in. It was so hard to see, but there was a moment where he could have had it, and I think he had Jake in front of him, Cans beside him. He was going faster than both, but had nowhere to go to actually use that extra speed. And somehow Cans has held on to this lead.
And Rez has been that he is backwards in the middle of Lesmo 2. And that has blown his chance. Blast so close to losing it there. Otis is after getting by Raikkonen forehead.
I'm seeing, I saw a bit of debris there on Rez, and he's going to have a tough race from now to the end. Not sure if we'll see many pit stops either if the weather stays as it is.
Yes, it is scheduled to stay as it is though. Met Aaron have told me there. Jake on a very wide line, but he keeps the speed, and you know what, he'll take that. Crossy does the same actually to extend the track, but Rez has struggled this season forehead. He's had more retirements than anyone this season so far, and he just really isn't in it at the moment, I would say.
Yeah, and it's a shame because he's not a bad driver either, and he does seem to know, for the most part, what he's talking about. So it's unlucky to see that happen to someone, but hopefully he can find the focus, I guess, more than nothing else, to keep it together for a full race distance.
As you can see there now, top 5 separated by 3.2 seconds at this moment in time. Blaz really starting to struggle though. I think he's starting to get gapped slightly here. And Crossy's having none of this as well. He's really starting to catch up now. But Panda needs to make a move soon. If he doesn't, I think Crossy will send the move, because Crossy knows what the championship means.
Yeah, all of them still struggling in this wet conditions. No one's quite nailed it yet. I don't think anyone has really put the perfect lap together. And as I say that, Panda really not doing himself any favours there.
No, he's snaking around, but so was Blah, and they're fighting. Jake is closing in on Cans again, but not quite enough.
Yeah, I'm just on board with Blah here. He definitely does look like he's under pressure. That Renault maybe not helping him out in the wet. I have to say, it's a good exit out of Ascari though, has to be said.
Yeah, especially in comparison to Panda. Jake not quite close enough here to get the slipstream on Cans. They need to start really gapping behind though, because I think Crossy here is a big threat.
Yeah, that is looking more and more true. Blah with a very narrow line around Parabolica. Surprised that's how he wants to go about it, but it works for him. And I have to say, Cans pulling away from JK pretty convincingly right now.
Yeah, I've said it before, this man is a wet weather specialist. I think if it's in the dry, Jake takes this, but if it's in the wet, I think Cans just has the edge. Jake needs to find something here, and I'm sure he can do it. It's just whether or not he will have the time and space to do so. Panda versus Crossy now on the exit here is what I'm watching at the moment, forehead. And Crossy is looking very racy with Panda, I think he's going to go for a move soon.
Panda definitely looks like he's in a bit of trouble on the defensive through, I'd say, most corners now. If Crossy ever does get this move done. But it won't be yet.
It's all about hooking in that left-hand corner first, and that's what Crossy did. Panda sticks his wheel there, forehead, as you would have seen, on the grass. He does it again, and it's catching him. He's missing the apexes slightly, and this is allowing Crossy to get really close here.
Yeah, and I think actually Panda's mistakes are catching out Crossy, and I think he accidentally earned himself a bit of space there just because Crossy didn't realise he was going to make that mistake. I have to say here, you're right. I think Panda's just looking a little bit sloppy right now, and the lucky thing for him is that we are in the wet, and there really is only one line to take through every single corner.
Oh, he's so close to the exit there. You have to be so careful though. You don't want to get a penalty. Of course, they're already on the edge of penalties. I'd say a lot of these guys are. I'm not really sure. A spare word for Rez, of course, who has made his pit stop and is all the way down in last place. And of course, none of the AI will be pitting because it is fully wet, of course, at this moment in time. But Cans has gapped Jake. Forehead! But as I said, Cans almost goes into the pit lane and he loses 6-7 hits. And Jake's all over the back, and we're going to follow Jake on board now.
Yeah, well, that's going to hurt Cans. The confidence will have taken a big hit there. And obviously so is the gap between the two of them. Still, I wouldn't say healthy, but it doesn't seem to have been hugely detrimental to Cans if he can keep going at it the way he was beforehand.
Absolutely. But it is closer than what it was, and you can see Kansas taking a wider line to try and break the slipstream because Jake doesn't want to go into that slipstream in the wet forehead. You lose so much front end grip, and you can easily lose the back end, going out that wide. So, but look at Jake's line through there. It's so much better than Kansas, isn't it? That's the line I do as well. Look at the exit he gets on him. He's absolutely done him, and he's going to send it up into here again because you need to get these moves done if you're fighting for a championship. But Kansas this time is having none of it, and he sends it around the outside. They're battling wheel to wheel, going into Lesmo 2 now as well. Jake is going to clip his. Oh, he doesn't, but Kansas hangs it around the outside, and that's a fantastic move by Kansas.
My God, we say fantastic move. I'd say fantastic defending from Kant. But oh my word, these guys trying so hard to keep it clean at these high speeds. That was remarkable. And Jake, I really thought he had a chance. He had an unbelievable exit there out of that one corner and just couldn't quite make it work for whatever reason. But Kant, determined to hold on to that.
Bla's under trouble here. He's under massive pressure here from Panda. Panda's going to probably try and go around the outside of him here into Parabolica. He needs to be careful across you though. He needs to be careful. He needs to get the move done if he's going to go for it. He's got a brilliant exit. Bla might cut across him though. Panda's almost on the grass, but Panda is going to get him with the straight line speed surely of that Haas, you'd reckon, wouldn't you? He has, I think.
Yeah, he must do. Crossy surprisingly nowhere in the picture to get involved here, but yeah, Bla I noticed had a horrible exit out of Ascari. And that's where all these troubles seem to
But he's going around the outside of Panda, and this is what I'm talking about. Oh, he's done. Oh, no. Come on. That is absolutely ridiculous racing from Bla. That is fucking abysmal. And Crossy.
Oh, he might be gone. Oh, no.
And I think Crossy will be getting a quali ban for that there as well. That was insane. I think both of them will be getting a quali ban there for that. But as we follow Jake and Cans now up front. But that was very questionable racing from the both of them there. And I would not be surprised, Forehead, if those will be clipped.
Yeah, I mean, unfortunately, I hate being negative, but yeah, poor form all round. Blah, I just ignore the corner and don't get in Panda's way because
he tries to make it, but he does the wrong thing. Do you remember Verstappen did it to Raikkonen and Suzuki this year?
Yeah, it was more like full respect to Blah for trying to defend. Like that is unquestionable, but the second he misses that corner, he should go very wide so as not to block off Panda like that. And then Crossy, well, he's been gifted a position, but at the same time did not need to do that to Blah. So, yeah, I think the stewards are gonna be called into action at some point after this race.
Yeah, and the stewards will be clamping down on that. But a spare word for Panda. Unfortunately, he's just lacking that instinct. Unfortunately, at the moment, because Otis has gotten him as well.
Yeah, that is a very good point. Panda actually got from 3rd to 5th. Probably not the biggest loser, I guess, because Blah 4th tonight, but it seems harsh because he didn't really make a mistake. He just found himself in the wrong place at the wrong time.
I mean, he had the move pretty much done, didn't he? Blah just sent it up the inside and just couldn't make the corner. For me, Panda had that 3rd place done and dusted. I mean, Blah could have defended it, but Panda would have always got him, I think. He was just too slow. But Cans has absolutely smashed lap record again here in the wet, but only by 10th by Jake, and they're lapping so close to each other now.
Yeah, they really are. Cans might be getting the fastest lap, but it doesn't look like it matters because Jake seems to have a response, and the two of them have stuck together from the very start. Obviously, though, with that incident further back, Crossy's 5 seconds behind, and I don't really see him making up that distance.
Yeah, absolutely. But what were your thoughts on those incidents? Crossy and Blah? Crossy in the wrong there? I mean, he looked like he just swerved.
It looked like it. It definitely looked like it. I was watching it from Blah's point of view, and it did look like the Crossy just kind of...
Give a nudge.
It looked like a swipe. Yeah. It looked like a swipe, it has to be said. So very, very questionable action. So I'd love to hear what both of them have to say on it, but it definitely looked like Crossy just had a bit of a swipe and was frustrated at Blah. And probably a Panda a little bit too for holding him up for so long in the race. But that is racing, and you have to deal with that fairly. So it looked poor on his part. Maybe he has more to say though.
Jake is closer than he's ever been on Cans out of Parabolica Forehead. He's closer than he's been. It's all about the slipstream now, and they're both in the highest ERS modes that they possibly can be in. Jake, I don't know, he's not going to risk it because I know Jake what he's like, but I know he'll try and get as close to Cans out of here now as possible. It's all about hooking that inside curb Forehead. None of them seem to know this, but with the first corner there's a trick. If you get on the inside curb there a bit more than what you think, you can actually almost cut the corner and straight line the second corner a lot more, and it gives you so much traction on the exit, it's insane. But no one seems to be wanting to take that risk with the first part of that corner.
Yeah, well, it's very good advice, and if any of them are listening in, they'll know it for next time round. But
Jake does it again here now. Watch this. Oh, Cans is so all over the place in that chicane. It's the one place where Jake's so much quicker lap after lap for it, isn't he?
Yeah, that is very, very true. I have to see here though, because both of them really struggling here. The wet conditions, I have to say, I love Monza in the wet. It really brings out the best in the driver. You really need to be on your A game to make it round every single time. But again, Jake, so close, and you do feel like right now he is definitely the quicker driver. He just cannot get past the big obstacle that is Cans. But Cans again, not doing himself any favors on the exits of these corners.
No, but I think it's neck and
bit.
neck between these guys. I definitely wouldn't say there's more one quicker. I think Jake is staying with him because of the slipstream effect in Monza. But we'll see. Coming out of Parabolica now, this is the closest they've been on the entrance, but on the exit, I think it's slightly further back than last time. We'll see though. Cans again though, he's out of shape again, isn't he, through there? Jake's so much closer this time now, forehead.
Yeah, he is. Cans is struggling on the exit of pretty much every corner. I don't know whether he's ruined his tyres or maybe he's just losing that little bit of focus, that little bit of edge at the start. But Jake, once again, doesn't go for the move into turn one, and that is totally fair enough, but he's going to have to do it eventually because these laps are counting down.
Absolutely, they are counting down. Rez, of course, at the fastest lap of the race. They're on the last lap, let's mention that, of course, as well. But unfortunately for him, you won't get points for fastest laps unless you do your fastest lap in the top 10. You can finish in the top 10 for the fastest lap here. So, Rez, you need to start making some headway. 30 seconds of headway, in fact, in 4 laps. So good luck with that.
Yeah, that is a big ask. And as well, I've actually noticed the Crossy is dropping back from these guys, so it is absolutely a 2-horse race here. Crossy looking comfortable in third, it has to be said, and then Otis fourth, Panda fifth. It looks like those guys are fairly settled in their positions.
Yeah, I'd say they're fairly settled. I think Crossy just knows bringing home in third now because I think he knows that next race he won't be having the best race because it's Singapore and he's going to be starting at the back and it's not going to be looking good for him, I'd say. But Crossy is on another level, another playing field in Singapore. Even better than me for it, I'm telling you. This guy is unreal in Singapore. But
well,
starting at the back there won't help him.
Yeah, but it'll make the best of Crossy come out at the same time, so I'm sure that'll be a very tasty affair to watch.
Jake now, he knows it's all about the exit here. He's stamping on the throttle so much earlier than Cans. But Cans just streaking away. Jake! Oh, he's so close to going into the wall there, and he had to get out of it slightly forward. Did you see that?
Yeah, that was tense. With 2 laps to go, you don't want to bin it. It would be such a shame for these guys if any of them bin it at this late stage. Yeah, very, very unlucky from Jake, because that has been the one corner where he's really been close to Cans and breathing down his neck, but he couldn't do it on that occasion. And yeah, it is a stalemate once again.
Otis is catching Crossy. 1.5 seconds now is the gap. It's the closest spin between them, but we're still going to stay on board here with Jake against Cans, because obviously these are the 2 guys at the top of the championship, and they're going to pull further away now.
Yeah. If anyone cares, Leclerc has overtaken Strachan for 40.
And Blah is down in 10th. He got overtaken there by Bottas.
Bottas,
So I
see.
imagine he's got wing damage because he wouldn't be down there otherwise.
Yeah, big time. Oh, well, we saw him go straight into the barrier. He must have wing damage. So the fact he hasn't pitted and is still continuing is quite impressive in itself. I just wonder, has he got any penalties that are going to hurt him and possibly drop him out of the 10th place?
We have seen no penalties yet, though, from the top 3, top 4 even. Oh, but as I say it, he got so close picking up one there. And I'd say, I'm going to have a quick check at the race director. He still hasn't picked up a warning, Jake, actually, for corner cutting. Either has Cans. The only person who has a penalty is Rez at this moment in time. So, the 2 laps to go now. I think Jake... He's outside, he's within that kind of 1 second mark forehead. I think this might be over. He needs to really do something now. Blah gets a penalty, there you go forehead. It's over for him, pretty much, isn't it? Actually, no. Verstappen 7 seconds back, so he should be fine.
Yeah, he could be okay with 2 laps to go. We'll see how this goes, how this plays out.
Jake's now stamping on the throttle so much earlier forehead. You can tell he's pushing like a madman, but he's losing out by doing that. With 2 laps to go, Jake Cans. Cans, of course, will extend his lead over Jake by... We'll have to deliberate about the pole position thing, because Jake did have a faster lap, we know that for certain. Crossy's been that, he's backwards, forehead. He's in the wall, he's after smashing the wall, his wing, and he's backwards, and this is absolutely insane for the championship as well, because he's going to have almost certainly a quali ban next race, and he's made another massive mistake, and this is it for what we talked about with Crossy. He's so quick, but he bins it on almost every second race. and you can't win a championship by doing this.
Yeah, that is crushing. I'm sure that is so heartbreaking for him to do that. Second last lap of the race too, and he's down in 8th when realistically he could be on the podium. So I'm sure Otis was licking his lips anyways when he saw that happen. That is another thing to add to the list of questions to ask Crossy at the end of this race.
Yeah, absolutely. I'd like to know what happened there. We'll ask him, of course. He won't be in, of course, the interviews with me and Forehead. It's likely going to be Cans, Jake, and Otis, unless something happens to that top 3 now at this moment in time, since they are your top 3. But it looks like Jake's given up the ghost. Forehead. He's lost 8/10 in this lap to Cans, and he's outside of the 1 second mark. So he knows now. Just bring it home, I think, and that's what he needs to do. So I guess Rocket has retired, and Crossy absolutely sends a very interesting move down the inside of Bottas there, I have to say, as he forced him out wide.
Yeah, I was watching that the whole way down. He's actually defending, and I think Crossy's straight line speed is gone now. I think his ability to exit corners the way he did before is not as it was.
He's missing the end play Forehead on his front wing on the left-hand side of it. So that's going to hurt him. That's the orange, I think, is the wing there. So it's going to hurt him a lot in downforce, so he's going to be really slow on Lesmos. So let's keep an eye on that. But I'm going to go back in front to Otis, of course. He's had a really good race. He's kept out of trouble like everyone else. And to be honest, I mean, other than the top 2 who've been in a world on their own, he's been the most impressive guy out of everyone. He's been so consistent today again. And he's going to pick up another podium, Otis's. And he's been on a run of podiums pretty much since France. And I think he's been the second highest point scorer in the championship other than Jake since France. He's been absolutely brilliant since then. And, well, he's almost put it in the wall there. But, just need to keep it out of the wall there now. Otis! Oh my god almighty, and fucking hell.
Well, luckily for him, I didn't pick that up, but oof.
Yeah. But it is going to be Cans. He's going to take a win here in Monza. Back-to-back wins in Monza. And he's extended his championship lead over Jake. And it's been a fantastic performance from the championship leader. The hopeful from Ireland has done it once again. And he's going to be absolutely ecstatic with that performance. Forehead. Cans, how good is he?
Yeah, well, that was sublime from Cans. There were so many points where I could have lost it, especially that almost 4 wide into turn 1. And he somehow came out on top. And I'm sure from his point of view, once you come on top in a situation like that, you feel like you can do anything. And he was probably the most consistent out there. I think that's pretty fair to say. Panda probably gets a shout out too for being consistent, but Cans was fast, and Cans pulled away from the rest of them. Jake was the only one who could keep touch, and you have to say Slipstream would have been a factor there. So, no, absolutely a fantastic drive from Cans.
Jesus Christ, I'm following Rez on board here as he's going side to side to side to side. Nice one, Rez. Good job. Sliding across the finish line and into the wall. A few things Forehead to add before we bring the boys in. Cans versus Jake. Jake could have had the move done at one stage, couldn't he? He could have, wasn't it? Until Lesmo 1 was like the second or third attempt he did it when Cans just went around the outside and defended brilliantly, didn't he?
Yeah. No, that's a very good point there. A couple times with Jake, had he been ever so slightly riskier, he could have got it done. But at the same time, he could have binned it if he pushed it even further. Like, if he thought he was at the limit, then I'm not sure there's much way he could do. And you could argue that the car was the difference. But I think that's harsh on Cans, if that is the case. I think Jake just couldn't quite make the move done in a corner that's suited for overtaking. The only times you were really close were through the Lesmos, which is an unusual place to do it. And in the wet, if you are the tiniest bit off, then that's going to go horribly wrong. So Jake gave it everything, and he put in some fantastic moves, but Cans held him every single time.
Yeah, absolutely. Right, let's bring in our top 3 Forehead. So our top 3 from that race. Here are the top 3 right now. Lovely Cans, Jakey, and Otis. I'm going to start Forehead. I'm going to ask Mr. Race Winner Cans. That was absolutely stunning, I have to say. That defensive drive you pulled off with the power of the slipstream around Monza. How are you feeling?
Oh, it was a mad race, lad. Oh, I love the rain. I love it. I love it. I love it. Oh, I was at the first battle with Jake, boy. I thought I was getting sent into the pits. Oh, because he gave me an almighty bump, lad, and I can't believe I didn't clap any walls. And that 4-way battle down the main straight was madness as well. I think if Blah Blah used the right side. If he found a break in Marcus somewhere, he could have just stuck it down. But it was just consistent driving, I would say.
Absolutely. Jake has left the call, so Farhad, you can ask Hans another question. Otis is muted. Otis, are you there, my friend? Just to double check.
No, I'm not.
Okay, no, he's not. Farhad, fire a question away at the cans. Anything you want.
Yeah, that one moment where it was 4 wide, I think, between yourself, Panda, Jake, and Blah. How planned was that move when you came out on top? Because we were watching it and we hadn't a clue what was going on, and then suddenly you just emerged out of that chicane first.
Well, see, Panda was stuck behind Jake getting the slipstream, and I was there. I got traction, or I got some slipstream anyway off Panda, and I decided, keep my car in the middle of the track. And he said to me, like, he saw the proximity arrow going red on the right side, so he couldn't move his car over. So I think it was all about car placement for me that kind of put me out in front. And then when I saw Bladden come on the right side, him screaming in my ear saying, "I'm on your right." And like, I gave him loads of room, but like he said, he just couldn't see the braking line, so he just bailed out of it. And I just stuck my car there. So I don't know how I ended up. I shouldn't have really ended up out in first, but I did, and I never looked back.
Ah, yeah. Well, I mean, it was fantastic to watch, and amazing to watch you hold it together when so many people behind you were slipping and sliding and struggling with exits. We did notice a little bit, roughly sort of 2/3 into the race, that you did have a bit of trouble coming out of some of the corners with Jakey right behind you. Was that pure nerves, or were the tyres starting to let go?
No, I just think I can't do that corner because I could gain a second or 1.5 seconds from Jake going into the first chicane, and then all of a sudden he's right up my arse. Like I don't know where he's getting the time out of there. But I tried to brake early, tried to get traction, but I just can't see.
It's the line you're taking through there. I can help you with that, as I can help Jake with the first corner. Jake, P2, not the result you would have wanted, especially after the game decided to penalise you since the latest patch because of all the corner cuts. So at least now you know not to do that again. We'll still give you the pole position points, of course, because you did have the fastest lap.
For feck's sake!
Sorry, Pans. He did have the quickest lap. He was way quicker. Jake,
don't care.
disappointed, but you gave him one hell of a race, didn't you?
Yeah, it was good fun, to be honest. Fighting the whole way. They give him a cheeky smack, but no hard feelings.
No, it looked like a really good race. There was hardly any problems with you at all. I mean, the amount of respect you had for each other through the Lesmos both times. Like, you had like 3 times you went side by side through there every time, and like it was absolutely insane between the two of you. But still happy to come away with 18, or just kind of regretting it, or what's the feeling?
To be honest, I think I ran too much downforce. I didn't really have the straight line speed. It seemed that I was catching him on the fucking corners. But when it came to the straight, we were like kind of matching speed, and considering I'm in a force injure, it was a bit dodgy.
Yeah. Forehead, any questions for Jake before we move on to Otis?
I don't think so. All I was really gonna say is, yeah, the setup. Did you feel like it was not helping you out? But you answered that. So
yeah, I think I could have run lower wings, to be honest. Get a bit more speed down the straights, you know.
Otis, are you there? Hello, Otis. Paging Otis. Oh, here he is. Well done, Otis. Otis, I made the point.
I'm not used to this kind of thing, am I?
Yeah, you're not used to being between the podium. I made the point to Forehead that outside of the top 2, you'd be my driver of the race because you were the only one who was consistently quick throughout, other than the top 2, of course, who were in a league of their own. Happy with that performance?
It's been okay. I almost spun a few times. I don't know if you saw it or not.
Oh yeah, of course.
There's a few yellow flags because of me. So I probably could have been a lot closer, but then apparently I like the throttle still.
Yeah, you do like the throttle a lot. Coming out of Ascari especially, I see you sideways on the last lap of the race, thinking, oh, then Otis is just going to bring it home now for 3rd. And then, of course, I nearly have to eat my words as he almost goes sideways into the wall. But no, I mean, look, you've been on form since France, if I remember right. Let's just bring up the championship here now. I think you have scored almost as many points as since France. Since France, Otis, you've scored more points than everyone other than Cans and Jake. You've just been behind them by 2 points behind Jake and 6 behind Cans. So I mean, you're doing a bloody good job to maybe come back into the championship, would you say, or is that too far gone?
We'll have to see.
Win it.
Short and sweet. Forehead, any last questions for this man?
Yeah, I mean, obviously it was a very impressive drive. Did you feel like it was a bit of a gift when you found yourself in third place, or did you think that you were going to be able to catch them as the race progressed?
I was hoping to catch Crossy, and I almost was, but then he spun out before I could even get a chance to battle him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Of course, Crossy will almost certainly be getting a quali ban for what he did to Blah. As we saw on stream, it was absolutely outrageous. Panda doesn't want to penalise Blah for what he did, but to be honest, after what Blah did, Blah should be getting a quali ban too. But Panda, of course, always a nice guy. Can't win championships as a nice guy. Anyway, final question, Cans. Coming back to you as our race winner today. Any words to the man beside you in second? It looks like it's a 2-horse race now.
Oh, that's a lot of damage.
Do you?
You do. Nah, Singapore is going to be. I don't know. I'm not that confident in Singapore. He might. Yeah. So we could find ourselves, side by side again, going through the ties, hairpin.
Side by side between.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting now.
Perfect. Guys, thanks very much. I'm going to move you back out there now. Me and Forehead are going to wrap up this video before we do our second race of the night. Forehead, great race. Great having you along for the first cast of the season for yourself. It's always great having your pleasure on. Of course, we'll be on there now shortly for Singapore, the second and last race of the night. Forehead, any pointers to the guys? Because they're going to be the ones watching back the stream, trying to learn bits of wisdom from you.
Yeah, well, firstly, number one advice, don't listen to me. But second advice would be, Jesus Christ, get those exits right in the wet, because no one seemed patient enough to actually hold it together every single time. I think Cans, he had that one corner and he fixed it, and I think he was probably the only one who actually fixed their problems as they went through the race. Everyone else was trying to drive the same way, and it obviously worked for some and didn't work for others. So that would be the one thing I'd say, is just learn to change it up throughout the race. Jake and Cans, I think, were the only two who actually changed how they were driving throughout the race.
Yeah, well, we didn't really see much of the others, of course, because the battle up front was so good. But yeah, perfect.
That is true.
Forehead, thanks very much. Guys, we'll be back with the second race there shortly. See you later.